Hi, thanks for watching BibleMountain.com. We live in an instant gratification society. And in our society, if God doesn't answer our prayer request right away, we tend to give up and assume that He's never going to answer our prayer. But the Bible teaches us we should have a different mentality. Now, Exodus 29 illustrates the correct mentality. In Exodus 29, we see that the Israelites, in order to consecrate their altar, were supposed to offer the same sacrifice every day for 7 days. In other words, they were supposed to do the same thing multiple times. And then after the altar was consecrated, they were supposed to offer the same sacrifice on that altar 2 times a day after day, year after year. In other words, they were supposed to do the same thing over and over again, generation after generation. And then we're going to see in Luke 18 that Jesus taught us to have the same mentality about prayer. Whatever prayer requests we have, we're supposed to ask for them over and over and over again. And this teaches us that we should not give up on prayer even when God takes a long time to answer our prayer. So let's take a look at this. We'll start in Exodus 29. These verses are part of a passage where God is instructing Moses how to go about ordaining Aaron and his sons as the priests. So let's start reading at verse 35. Thus you shall do to Aaron and to his sons according to all that I have commanded you. You shall ordain them through 7 days. Each day you shall offer a bull as a sin offering for atonement, and you shall purify the altar when you make atonement for it, and you shall anoint it to consecrate it. For 7 days you shall make atonement for the altar and consecrate it. Then the altar shall be most holy, and whatever touches the altar shall be holy. So notice the word ordain. This was a process the Israelites were supposed to use to ordain Aaron and his sons as priests. Notice it was a process that took 7 days. And they were told here to do something each day of those 7 days. And what they were supposed to do each day was to offer a bull. Now a bull was a large animal, so this was a lot of work. And so it would have been very easy by the 5th and 6th day for the Israelites to be a little weary of doing this every day and start to ask why they were continually doing this every day. But they had to do that because that's what God told them to do. Verse 38. Now this is what you shall offer on the altar: 2 one-year-old lambs each day continuously. Now here we see that they were supposed to offer 2 lambs on the altar. We see that they were supposed to do that each and every day, and we see the word continuously. This is something that was supposed to be done year after year, generation after generation. And again, the human response to this would be after years to sort of weary of these lambs day after day and start to wonder why they had to do the same thing day after day. But that's what God told them to do. Verse 39. The one lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at twilight. And there shall be 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine for a drink offering with 1 lamb. The other lamb you shall offer at twilight, and shall offer with it the same grain offering and the same drink offering as in the morning, for a soothing aroma, an aroma by fire to the Lord. It shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the doorway of the tent of meeting before Yahweh, where I will meet with you to speak to you there. Here again we see the word continual. They were told that they were supposed to do these offerings day after day, generation after generation. Here we specifically see the word generations, telling them that this is something that was supposed to happen for decades and centuries. Verse 43. I will meet there with the sons of Israel, and it shall be consecrated by my glory. I will consecrate the tent of meeting and the altar. I will also consecrate Aaron and his sons to minister as priests to me. I will dwell among the sons of Israel and will be their God. They shall know that I am Yahweh their God, who brought them out of the land of Egypt, that I might dwell among them. I am Yahweh their God. Here at the end we see that God made a statement to Moses and declared himself to be Yahweh, the God of the Israelites, reminding Moses that they had to do these things day after day because it was he, Yahweh, who was telling them to do this. So again, we see that the Israelites were instructed to do the same thing day after day, year after year, generation after generation. Now let's look at Luke 18 and we'll see that Jesus taught us to have the same mentality about prayer. Let's start at verse 1. Now Jesus was telling them a parable to show that at all times they ought to pray and not to lose heart. Notice the words lose heart. Jesus told them not to lose heart. In other words, when we pray and our prayer requests are not answered right away, we're not supposed to lose heart. We're not supposed to be discouraged. We're not supposed to become pessimistic. We're not supposed to give up. Verse 2, Jesus said, "In a certain city there was a judge who did not fear God and did not respect man. There was a widow in that city, and she kept coming to him, saying, 'Give me legal protection from my opponent.' For a while he was unwilling, but afterward he said to himself, 'Even though I do not fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow bothers me, I will give her legal protection. Otherwise, by continually coming, she will wear me out.'" So here, notice the word continually. The widow continually went to the judge and asked for legal protection, and eventually he gave in and gave it to her. Again, this is illustrating what we should do when we pray. We are supposed to pray continually over and over again. Verse 6, "And the Lord said, 'Hear what the unrighteous judge said. Now will not God bring about justice for his elect who cry to him day and night, and will he delay long over them? I tell you that he will bring about justice for them quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth?'" So notice this last question. When Jesus comes, will he find faith on the earth? Will he find people who are still praying day after day, year after year for prayer requests that have not been answered? Or will he find people who have simply given up, perhaps given up way too soon? So again, we live in an instant gratification society, and we have a tendency, if God doesn't answer our prayer requests within a couple days or perhaps a week, we have a tendency to give up and think that God's not going to answer that. But the Bible tells us we should have a different mentality. Exodus 29 illustrates the correct mentality. In order to consecrate the altar, the Israelites had to offer the same sacrifice for 7 days in a row. And then after the altar was consecrated, they had to sacrifice 2 lambs on that altar, day after day, year after year, and generation after generation. And then in Luke 18, we see that we're supposed to have the same mentality about prayer. We are supposed to ask for our prayer requests over and over again, day after day, week after week, year after year. And all of this teaches us that we should not give up on prayer, even when it takes God a long time to answer our prayers. If you haven't joined my email list yet, please do so. First of all, it is free. By signing up, you get immediate access to all my free content. This is the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any of my free content. In order to sign up, go to BibleMountain.com, click on follow. There will be a place there to enter your email address. Once again, thank you for watching BibleMountain.com.